Hello and welcome to another live stream. And as you may have noticed, I'm not streaming on my own, or I'm not streaming on Pixelogic's live channel today. And that's just because I wasn't scheduled to, and turns out I have some time to, and so here I am. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, and so we have a Halloween sculpt. Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Mark, Brad, all the familiar faces. Glad to see you made it over here. All right, I'm super nervous because I just sent out an email to a lot of people, and hopefully we'll get a handful of people watching, and yeah, it'll be fun. So I'll go for an extra half an hour to another hour. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So happy Halloween, everyone. Hope you're doing well. All right, I'm gonna put this chat so I can see it better. Get it in here. There we go. All right. So how's the stream? How's the latency? Is it okay? Let's see. So I'm just gonna sculpt this guy. So my friend Josh Black just posted this page of images the other day on Facebook, and they're all amazing. And this guy looked particularly evil and Halloweenish. So I decided I'd give it a go and sculpt him today. See how it goes. Yeah, totally. Could be. Okay, so. And I still keep thinking about doing a challenge where I can only use two brushes, like the snake hook brush and the smooth brush, and see if what I could do with that, you know. I still keep thinking about how would that go, you know. I wonder if I could pull it off. Hey Sarah, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. And it's not that I don't want to sculpt on the ZBrush Live today. It's just that I thought I would be more busy than I am. So honestly, I'll just tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I forgot that I said no, I won't be sculpting on Halloween. So I was all set to, and then Neil looked at the calendar. He's like, "Yeah, you're not on there." I'm like, "Oh crap! I must have said I wasn't sculpting today." So not necessarily, Sarah. So here's the difference between the move brush and the snake hook brush. In my eyes, the snake hook brush is a move brush. It's just a little bit squishier. Like, is that a term that I could use for the move brush? It's a tad bit squishier, and it works with Sculptress Pro, whereas the move brush does not. So that's the biggest difference. Hey Matt, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay, this one is tricky. This dude's head is tricky. Looking at it more, I think I want to do it not how I normally do it. Oh goodness. I'm just kind of in autopilot, and I'm kind of a little frazzled by pushing this stream to my own channel instead of having, you know, the folks over at Maxon do it for me. So I'm just glad it's working, and now I'm like taking a breath for a second, and now I'm evaluating this guy, and I'm gonna make him differently, and just like I do with the ZBrush Live Sculpts, I like to experiment with the way I block out characters. Sorry, I'm just undoing this. I'm gonna roll this back. Let's roll back to a sphere, and instead what I want to do is, let's take a look at this guy, and I want to tell you exactly how I'm evaluating his head. Okay, so I'm gonna get this little epic pen guy over here so I can draw on my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Hey Oscar, how are you? Glad you can make it. Okay, so if you look at this, his body, and it goes up into his neck right here, and then forms the cranium and comes down, and then goes back down his neck and back like this. I'm looking at this muzzle piece from his jaw all the way down here and all the way up to the tops of his cheeks as possibly being one shape, like that piece. Maybe even two. So I might do his jaw as one, and then like, yeah, I'm not sure. But those two pieces, I kind of want to make it that way rather than a cranium and then, you know, like the typical way that I do it. So we'll see if that works. Just erase these guys. They're clear. I'm not used to this. Oh, trash can. There we go. I'm not used to this epic pen too much yet. So I'm getting there. Oh. Okay. There we go. Put it back here. Hey Pablo, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So I did just send out an email to my list of followers, which is a lot of people. I don't know if they'll get this in time, but hopefully after I stream for a while, people will start showing up. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay, we're just gonna go for this head neck shape, big giant shape here. How about some symmetry? How about I face it the right way? Yeah, geez, I'm totally. There we go. Okay. Oh, geez. Do any of you have anything cool planned for Halloween? We just have some trick-or-treating planned here. My grandson was here and he dressed up as Sonic the Hedgehog for his preschool. Cutest ever. Okay, so here's the neck going up into the head shape. Okay, and then I always run into this decision is do I make the entire chest a new piece, or do I stretch this one down into the chest? All the decisions. And I think I'm going to go for the latter today. And stretch this out into the chest. I typically will add a new shape just so I'm not fighting this stretching and stuff like that. So, but I am going to flood fill it with some polygons, not quite like that much. Okay. Hey Anil, how are you? Good to see you here. Thanks for joining my stream on the Character Workshop channel. When I decided to just, go live on my own channel, I had no idea. I'm like, will anybody show up if I do? I don't know. So I really appreciate you showing up. Okay, I'm gonna definitely have to adjust this, and I don't know if I like. See, I don't know if I like. There's a reason I block out characters with primitive shapes, and this is why, because I'm constantly just fighting. I'm rolling this back to his head, and I'm gonna put in another shape. And I'm showing you this because you know what? It's okay to start over. It's okay to roll back. It's okay to, if something's not working, don't keep forcing it. Don't keep pushing it. You know, just like swallow your pride for a second and just keep rolling, you know? Yeah, see, this is a much better um, shape that I'm after. And now I can tilt it like this and scale it so I get that big chest going down the front there. It's like you know, you're getting happy accidents, right? Like Bob Ross says. It's like you get this nice curve without even trying. Oh, Sarah, you crack me up. And it's so true. Let's see. That'd be a good t-shirt. Hey, Yavuz, how are you? I don't know if that's how you say your name correctly or not. I apologize if it's not. But welcome. You know, I actually think I scaled this up too big. I'm going to take the whole thing, go to here, and scale it down. See, I scale it up for to get the Sculptris Pro happening. And I'm not using your technique yet, Neil. I always forget. I just start going, you know, and I forget. That's funny. Even if it's other people's quotes. Let's see. I need to write them down. I always forget them, you know, because I'm just sculpting and they come up when I'm either teaching or sculpting and I don't remember them. I guess on my live stream there's like on my channel I get the ability to do like super chats and stuff, right? I've never even tried. I've never even looked into doing that. I have them turned on. I'm not suggesting that you use them or anything, but it's kind of nice to know that they're there. Something Twitch does not have. Hey Sean, thank you so much. Are you going to make any characters with hard surface elements in the future? I could. I absolutely could. I mean, this guy, he only really has these, what, suspender things, not really hard surface. But the key to hard surface stuff is live boolean and creases. Those are and edge loops if you go that far. Panel loops, edge loops. I feel like they're both the same kind of thing. Okay. So I just need to work this flow in a little bit more and then we can continue on. No. I don't know what I did. I think I hit D on that. Hey Tiago, hello, welcome. Let's see if I can pop this chat off and make it a lot bigger because my old man eyes have a hard time seeing it. Oh goodness. Okay. And I don't know, yeah, I'll have to figure out because I do like highlighting chat and things like that. Neil, I would have you. I would love to have you as part of the scene, you know, behind the scenes, doing the highlights and stuff. So maybe we could try like what is that called? StreamYard. It does a really good job highlighting chat and stuff. Okay, taking too long with this. I feel like this head Needs to be bigger. Being biggening. So no plans for Halloween? I guess some of you from other countries don't celebrate Halloween. But today in the US, it's Halloween. Which to me signifies the end of summer, beginning of fall, heading into the winter season. It's fun. Oops. I forgot to turn on symmetry on that. Let's go back. Man, I'm going back a lot in the stream. There we go. Okay. But I went Red Riding Hood with the dog I have. Oh, nice. Wasn't a stretch. Oh, man. That's too funny. We're not in Kansas anymore. Let's see. I'm thinking, that's not Red Riding Hood. That's Wizard of Oz. Okay, so with this jaw, like I said, I'm looking at that big, massive shape coming up to where the cheekbones meet. It's just kind of hanging off the front of his face. So how do I make that happen? I feel like his chest still isn't, it's like in the way still. It's because his neck is coming way down here and I have it way up here. Oops. Looks like a guy from that, what's that game? Oh jeez. Wow, hey, I think I can block from here. No. Oh, I can only do it with restream chat. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to stream through restream, but Neil, I don't know, Neil, if you can remove those on your end because I think you're a moderator. Yeah, thank you. All right, sweet. Yeah, Among Us. Thank you, David. I couldn't think of the game. I'm like, Among Us. No. Okay, here we go. I'm going to flood fill this with this polygon size slider. This is a part of my UI that I put up there. Basically, it's flood filling the entire model with Sculptris Pro geometry, which is dynamic topology. And basically all that does is it evens out the topology across the board. Thank you, Neil. You're the best. Okay. We have a moderator. Okay. That's better. I'm trying to think about how far out this is going to go. Not that much. Here's those cheeky cheeks going on down, and then there'll be his mouth. Now, I really liked how the guy turned out on the sculpt I was doing on the ZBrush Live sculpt the other day, where I broke his mouth into two parts, like an upper and a lower, and that worked really well. And I'm trying to see if there's a way I could do that with his mouth, but I don't know that it would make sense. And I could do this bit as an upper piece and then just have the lower just kind of stuck in there, but I'm not sure. Looks like those bots attack all live streams. Okay, let's pull this back. Okay, and I want to pull this body way down. I'm gonna have to try that next sculpt. I found having the upper and lower lips separated even by polygroups helps so much. It does, yeah. It allows you to hide and show things really easily and get in there, you know. Looks like I need to actually pull the neck shape down the neck. Now, if you're using, I say this in my other live stream, but if you're using masking, you want to turn topological off. You don't want to have both topological and masking at the same time because they're both the same thing essentially. And you'll lose some functionality of one or the other when you're trying to use both. So if you find like when you're trying to move stuff and it's just not moving, that's most likely why is because you're kind of doubling up on your masking efforts. So just kind of be aware of that and keep your eyes open for it. Hey, Ika. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, he does kind of look like that guy, like a psycho. We want his shoulders to be even wider. Hey, Sir Delicia, how are you? Okay, let's get... I'm liking how that's looking. I'm going to pull this up and see if we can get a mouth cavity happening on this front piece. Now, the beauty of having this flood filled with dynamic topology is I can change how dense it is and give myself more polys, or I can just turn on Sculptris Pro and literally paint more polygons in the area that I need them, which is nice. So I'm literally just going to pull this in. It's going to look absolutely ridiculous for a minute. And I do need more polys as this stretches out, so I'm going to turn on Sculptris Pro. I don't need it that low. And just kind of paint in more polys. Now he's looking like a battle toad. Which I've been playing a game called Grounded recently with some friends of mine, and I have to say that game is insanely good. I really, really like it. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The reason I brought that up, hey Matthew, welcome, welcome. The reason I brought that up is because there's a battle toad in there, like stuck in a pond, and you can run across it. It's like an actual articulated action hero thing, you know, and it's just sitting in there, and you're just this little tiny shrunken kid, and you run across this thing, and it's enormous inside of that world view, you know. It's just really cool. And so of course we had to build a base on it. Got a big old underbite here. I think I probably went too far with that. Let's bring it on back to the early access. Yeah, me too. I played it for a while, and then I walked away from it for a while, and now I'm back in it again. After they officially launched it, you know? All right, I'm going to go a little more dense with these polys. There we go. And I hope you all are having a wonderful day, too. I know you guys could be doing other things, and you decided to hang out with me, and hopefully you're sculpting along with me. Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Oh my gosh. Rick Moranis. Yeah, totally aging myself. For the longest time, they had a thing at Disneyland that was like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids multimedia type experience, and I hated it because I thought it was a cop out, you know? That's weird. Okay. Oh, it's topological as Y. I'm gonna mirror and weld this again. It's a good idea to mirror and weld every once in a while because it kind of resets your symmetry, especially if you don't have subdivision levels and you're just kind of working through your base block out. Sculpting and killing until flight tomorrow. Where are you going? Hey Lou, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Did you guys get the email? I sent out an email to everyone letting people know, or were you just notified because you were already following me on YouTube? I'm curious about that. And I hate to say this, but if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, feel free to subscribe if you'd like. I want to be live streaming on this channel more, so hopefully this is the beginning of that. Going to Gran Canarias? Oh, nice. Yeah, happy spoopy day. Hey, Matthew. Yep. Hey, Talden, how are you? Both? You got the email? You just read them. Okay, sweet. Let's see. Oh, from Discord. Okay. Did you put a Discord link, Neil? If you did, thank you very much. Yeah, everybody like that smash button. Okay. I'm gonna block out. Let's see. It looks funny with no teeth in there. Like this guy is all teeth, right? Only email even though I've subscribed. I wonder what it takes to notify people that you're going live on YouTube. I need to figure that out. You're looking for the Pixel stream and got the YouTube alert first. Okay, so you did get YouTube alert. I think you have to be logged into YouTube in order to get the alert. YouTube is fickle that way. It's totally reminding me of giving me some Battletoad vibes. And his mouth is too wide. Lucas, I follow your YouTube and was notified through that. Just got the email now. Okay, cool. So what I'm referring to as far as email goes, if you've ever downloaded my brushes in the past, that puts you on my emailing list that I rarely ever use, but I want to change that and actually send out useful information soon. I'm just not good at it. Let's see. Because I've never wanted to be that guy that just sends out tons and tons of emails. So I want to be respectful of your email, you know? But at the same time, I need to let you know when there's helpful things. Okay. Tiago, yes, I've tried Twitch as well. I could stream on both places simultaneously and Facebook simultaneously if I wanted to. But I kind of want to just focus on one platform, and I want to grow my YouTube channel, so that's why I've done mainly just YouTube for now. YouTube is, or Twitch is hard. It's not searchable very well, so it's hard to find people naturally, organically, I guess is the word on Twitch. Stop destroying my mailbox. So okay, yeah. So if you're not on my if you're not on my email list, which if you've gotten an email from me, you are. But if you're not, all you need to do is download my free brushes over on 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Just head over there and scroll down about halfway, and you'll see my free brushes, and then you can get on my emailing list from now, or from right there. Let's see. I think it puts out an auto announcement. Right. Why does my Discord link says invalid? Aiden, I don't know what you're talking about there. When you got your notify from email? So, yeah, I don't understand. So I sent out an email earlier today with the link to come watch this stream. I didn't send out an email with a Discord link. I don't quite know what you're talking about there. So if you could explain a little more, I can help you out. Your email just came through now. Well, it did go out to about 30,000 people. So that's why I don't like to send that's why I don't like to send out emails too often, because it goes out to so many people. Hey Ted, yes, I will be leaving this up on my YouTube channel. Thank you for asking. Excited for the sculpt off. I challenge you not to do an anime girl. That's like asking a fish not to swim. I challenge you not to swim. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we have an internal little sculpt off happening between a few of the students that have won internal sculpt offs before. It's like a to see out of all the people who have won sculpt offs, to see who is the super king or whatever, queen. Oh. Hey, we got 74 people watching. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm late, my friend. You just told me you were streaming. No worries, Shane. Best name ever. I'll forgive you this one time. This is my favorite fellow accelerator. Yes, welcome. Okay, so just trying to figure this out. I have two different directions. I have the cheek going and then going down. Let's get that pulled out. Let's see. I'm going to cut it in, going down. I'm just trying to give myself some landmarks here. And then the jaw coming out from there. I want it straighter though. There we go. Sarah, not supposed to make me laugh at that. Makes me feel bad. But I love that you make the best of the situation. Love it. Little clown nose. I like his little beaky clown nose. It's funny. It is funny. Now, I think I may block in some brows and come up with it. Maybe stickers with the graphic. Are you kidding? That's awesome. So Sarah, unfortunately, is paralyzed, I think, from the waist down. Is that true, Cricket? Looks like a bad guy from the old Warner Brothers. Yep, Batman animation for sure. True. So, Sarah being awesome Sarah, she makes light of the situation. Broke my back in an ATV accident 10 years ago. And using what she still has, she's becoming a sculpting queen, master of all. And she's a mech. That's what I like to say. Sarah, is you're a mech. There's his little nose, and let's get this some brows in. Be careful, Ika. let's keep our friendly banter to our off-topic Discord, because I don't think everybody here understands the humor that you two have. It'll be just taken out of context is all I'm saying. You know. Okay. We're up to 86 people. I don't know what my the total was on that I've ever had on ZBrush Live. I think it was around, I want to say 300, which is crazy to me. Hey Josh, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Happy Halloween to you as well. You're doing fine. I haven't been on Discord for a while, but I'll be back soon. Sweet. Welcome to the stream. You can start to see this guy taking shape. He's looking like Mr. Clean for a minute. Excuse me. Character artist at my studio wants to learn printing. Awesome. That's the way to go. Printing is so fun. I mean, imagine having the power. Okay, imagine having the power to create. It's almost. I hate to say it's a very smallish, godlike power to be able to create anything you want that has mass, right? I'm not talking about liquids and gases, but something solid that has a mass to it that you can create anything that you want. It's it's so empowering and fun. It's so fun because you can, if you think about it, you can make any toy you want, any prop you want, any object that you want to make, that you can sculpt it and print it out, you know, for so many applications. I was thinking about like I was thinking about model railroading the other day because when I was younger, I was into it, and I'll probably get back into it when I'm older. Um, when I'm old man model railroading, Shane, which probably isn't too far off from now. But I was always into like Wild West stuff. Oops. And Wild West is like, you know, the old, like Red Dead Redemption essentially, right? So or like Back to the Future Part 3, Tombstone, you know, all those great films. And trains, like steam trains, the highlight of steam trains was in the late 1800s, um, you know, early 1900s, and they just had such cool buildings and such cool thematic. I mean, you think of cowboys, you think of like, you know, they're in the same level of theme. I don't even know what the word is. The level of how you can theme something is like pirates, ninjas, cowboys. You know what I mean? It's like a whole theme to it. And when you go look for buildings and characters and all sorts of things that you want to use on your model railroad, they just don't exist. They don't exist. There are very few of them. They're mostly modern. You know, like warehouses and things. People make modern, and I want to make an old Western style model railroad, and it'd be, if those things don't exist, what you can do these days is you can 3D print them. You can sculpt them, 3D print them. Like I could seriously sculpt a saloon, even just the walls, not a solid saloon, but I could sculpt a saloon or model it, you know. It doesn't have to be in ZBrush, it could be wherever you want. Model it up, print it out. You could even build the snaps in and snap it together as if it was a kit, you know, like engineer it. So wild to me. That's what I'm talking about when I say empowering, because it literally is very empowering to be able to make your own stuff like that. Like I just remember being a little kid and going to those model train stores and wishing and hoping that they had anything I could use like that. I even bought these little horses and stagecoach that worked at the time, but super delicate. I need one of those railroad engineer striped hats. You know it. My grandfather was an engineer, like a train operator engineer for the Union Pacific Railroad. That's what he used to do. It's in my blood. He looks like the shark from Finding Nemo. Yeah. Hello, Bruce. How are you, Kenya? Welcome to the stream. Had to explain 3D printing to a retired in-law yesterday. Oh, are you kidding? You're like, so how does it work? Yeah, it's interesting how it works. You know, I'm still boggled by how resin hardens just simply by UV light. That's the one thing that makes resin printers work. And that still makes my brain hurt when I think about it, because it's like, how How is it liquid until it sees the sun? I'm happy living my life not understanding that. Oh. Yeah, I watched Wild Wild West with Will Smith, and yeah, it's like Wild West meets steampunk. I thought the characters and the theming of it was great. The story was just okay, you know. But I love the look of everything. That giant spider, it's cool. My favorite Western is Tombstone. Oh, I have not seen the TV series. Is it good? We should give him some eyes, huh? And probably save it. Okay, why won't you save? There we go. Okay. Hey, Heck, how are you? Back to the Future 2. You mean 3. You know, it's actually really, really good. Like, the steampunk train on Back to the Future 3 is amazing. I'm gonna give him some really big eyes. There we go. Look at that. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay. Who you calling, Yella? Yeah, good old. That's so funny. All right, let's split this out. Clint Eastwood. Oh, man. So great. I always wanted to ask, is that an app you're using that mimics your hand drawing gesture? Yeah, Spotlight. It's an app called Spud Arm. I just barely found it the other day. I haven't been using it very long. Basically all I did is I rendered out a hand that I made, that I modeled. And then I'm able to, they give you a template. And then you basically replace the template with the rendering. You can use the template. You can use it for whatever you want. I mean, you could draw a robot hand. You could like take a picture of your own hand. It just comes in 2 pictures. So one is of the hand. You just have to line up the tip of the pen and the wrist pivot, and the rest is works. Doing the thing with Patreon still, and somehow some client projects fun but stressy. Yeah, I saw your latest one. You know what, Hector? Go ahead and post a link to your Patreon here. Yeah, I'll let you do that, man. Promote that. Because it's Halloween based. Do it. So Hector is a fellow sculptor. Hey Iger, welcome. Yep. Yeah, first time. I don't really sculpt on my own channel much. And I want to change that. So you're witnessing history and you're taking part of it. So thanks for joining. All right, I'm going to pull this higher. Turn on AccuCurve. Pull this up. Doing anything for or with the ZBrush Summit? I'm sponsoring it. I may uh, do the sculpt off, but I don't think so. Okay, I should probably get these teeth in there so we can start to work that out, because his teeth are his everything. So he can be like Bruce, and that way I can figure out like how the whole lips should be wrapping around those teeth. Yeah, I wish the ZBrush Summit was in person this year, but it's not. It's online. I think part of that has to do with Maxon's acquiry of ZBrush Summit, or ZBrush Summit and Pixelogic, and them trying to navigate those waters and figure it out. I would guess in the future, I'm just guessing, that they actually get a bigger venue eventually, rather than at the Gnomon school, because as cool as Gnomon is, it's a very small place. And so if you have a lot of people there and there's some good speakers there, it's really difficult to get a good seat. And watch, watch the presentations. It's kind of difficult that way, but it's good. And if any of you watching have or don't have my course and have any questions about it, please let me know. Because on my regular ZBrush live stream, I don't like to talk about it too much, but hey, this is my stream, so if you guys have some questions, ask away. I'm going to try something here and add an extra piece that wraps up around his nose and goes that way. Oh, did Hector take off? Hey, Emily, how are you? Let's see. Yeah, Wisconsin all the way. Yeah, that's quite the trip. Love your ZBrush brushes. Thank you very much. Godson, love your work. Thanks. You're welcome. Welcome. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna block this in. Try it out. And this would probably only work for this stream. So there's thank you, Neil. There's Hector's Patreon and his. Oh, I was just saying, Hector, that you could post a link to your Patreon if you wanted to, but Neil's on top of it. He already did for you. Dropping the ball, man. Thanks, Neil. Anyway, I love your Halloween pinup girl. She's great. So this is something I love to do, you guys, and it's so powerful. Using a combination between primitive blockouts and Sculptris Pro is super nice. Like, see, I have this little band here, this little piece that I'm starting to block out, and I'm wanting to make it part of the cheek. See, I'm starting to stretch these polys, and I'm running out of geometry, right? So if I was using a regular Dynamesh workflow, I would be stuck. I'd have to Z-remesh this, but with this workflow, even I have everything masked off except for this piece. So what I can do is I have Sculptris Pro active. I can hold down Shift and just flood fill this piece with Sculptris geometry, dynamic geometry. And that doesn't mean I have to use Sculptris Pro the way, it was intended. That just means I can pick and choose the areas where I want my density to go. Because when you're sculpting, you only need as much density as you need, right? You don't need to go super dense. I mean, look at this brow compared to this cheek piece. And I have that control. And a lot of people are like, let me see your wires. How dense is your mesh? And none of that matters. The only thing that matters is if you have enough geometry to do what you need to do. That's the only thing that matters. When you're sculpting anyway. Later on, you can do whatever you want. Like if you need to turn your character into something that you need to animate or something like that. But these days I'm typically focusing on creating characters for 3D printing, and this way of using Sculptris Pro and stitching things together is it leads you right down that path into 3D printing a model that's ready for 3D printing, because eventually you're going to decimate this anyway, and so it's made of triangles anyway. You don't have to worry about any of those retopology or anything like that, unless you want to get something that's super duper clean that can be subdivided. That's the only time you really want to do some retopology. So there's my little rant. If I had a hard surface model that is high poly, but I do not want to retopo in order to not lag my render software, what else can I do? Are you wanting to Are you wanting to animate it or just render it? Like, does it have motion or no? Because typically if you're just rendering it and it's not going into a game, you can use subdivisions. Subdivisions should ease up your machine and not make it lag. So you have low resolution subdivided with creases, and it should make your machine not lag. Happy Halloween, Natalie. Welcome, welcome. Hey, what's up, Rob? If you're just rendering it, yeah, you can just subdivide it. No big deal. Just make sure your meshes, you can z-remesh it. If you're not going to animate it, you can z-remesh it, subdivide it. You're good to go. You just have to get those subdivisions over to your rendering software somehow. So say if you were rendering in Blender, what I usually do is I will delete all of my lower subdivision levels out of ZBrush, and then push it over to Blender, and then recreate my subdivision levels over there in Blender. Because you want the highest level of subdivision, because that's holding all of your detail. I searched for it, Rob. I searched for it and I couldn't find it. It's buried in my closet somewhere. Yeah, that's true. Roni, that's very true. You can also just decimate it and push it over there. It depends on the look that you're after. Like, what do you want to do with it? Those are two totally viable options. I want to hit the 100 people mark today. That'd be great. We're at 89 right now. Zerchan, welcome. Happy Halloween to everyone. Love this guy's face. See, now I can create that smile line without having to like pinch it or sculpt it by hand, because it's being created by the geometry that's laying on the surface. Super helpful. .3D printing before decimation. How do you merge all the subtools? Do you use remesh by union? Yes. Or Boolean? Yes. Those are both the exact same answer, because Boolean is remesh by union. Remesh by union is Boolean without what. So remesh by union is essentially running the live Boolean combine algorithm without actually deleting or removing or adding anything. like live Boolean would. So does that make sense? Hopefully, but yeah, they're the same thing in different locations. And I wish it wasn't as confusing as that. I think ZBrush makes it confusing for people unintentionally. Okay. Gotta do what you gotta do, Matthew. Hey, Leonard, welcome. You found me. I don't know how, but they found me. I'm glad. I had a good conversation with Leonard the other day. If you guys don't know, Leonard is a former, I would say, once you're an Imagineer, you're always an Imagineer, but retired Imagineer. Super fascinating human, Leonard, you are. I don't know why I'm speaking like Yoda. So, if in case you're wondering why I'm not streaming on the Pixelogic live stream today, is because I forgot that I wasn't scheduled to go live today. I was completely planning on it, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I wasn't on the calendar, so I'll just stream on my own channel today instead. That's it. Simple as that. My forgetfulness. Costas, what do you mean recreate the subdivisions in Blender? Retopo? No, I mean, well, we're on my channel. I can show you maybe. Let me close some stuff down. Let me close this down. No. Okay. Let me see if I have anything else open here. This guy's looking awesome. Okay. Let's see. So if I go, let me run Blender for a second. Now I'm using a plugin. I guess Blender calls them add-ons. I'm using an add-on called GoB. Instead of GoZ, it's called GoB. And it allows you to push stuff from ZBrush to Blender back and forth. Did it not open? Didn't even open. I might have too many things open. Hey, B-Man, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I tried to open Blender and decided not to open. It just closed. See, it tried to open and then it just went away. Oh, Blender. There we go. There you are. Okay. So, in order for Blender to work, I'm going to delete that cube. You can see these three export, import, manual up here. That is the GoB add-on. So once you have the add-on in place, then you turn it on. I'm not going to go through and show you how to install the add-on or anything like that. But you have to make Blender listen for ZBrush's export. And to do that, you just click on this import button. And sometimes it will still import like the last thing in the cache. So you might see something pop up in here. Yeah, see, it's loading something, and I have no idea what I pushed over here before, but it's sitting here loading something. I guess I'll wait for it while I'm sculpting some more. And I'll make something that has some subdivision levels. So let's append a polysphere, I guess. And solo it. Here we go. So we have this sphere. And if we look down at geometry, we have 3 subdivision levels, okay? Now, if I'm going to push this over to Blender, I have to, and maybe B-Man, you can tell me if I'm doing this correctly, but this is the way I know how to do it, is I have to, well, let's put some poly paint on here as well. So let's grab a color, like this red or whatever, pink. Let's go red. Let's fill it obnoxiously. And then let's grab some orange and just paint on the surface. Just some orange. Okay, it's not that high of resolution. It's about 24,000 points. Okay. I do have a toon hand. You just barely noticed that. Isn't that funny? I love it. I love it. Okay, so essentially what I would do is I would save this file off right now as a Z tool, okay? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy my lower subdivision levels and then send it over to Blender. So basically I would hit this delete lower, and it gets rid of it, so I only have the highest resolution version of this sphere. Okay. Brad is B-Man? No. Look at who spoke. 2 people before you. Me, B-Man is B-Man. Close though. I could call Brad B-Man. Okay, so it looks like I sent over my Batman, my David Boudreau Batman before. I was rendering this out earlier. So this came through. I was sending this over from ZBrush before. Okay, but this is not who we're rendering today. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Okay, so our import is turned on, and we're ready to push this over. So I've already set up Go Z inside of ZBrush to push this over to Blender, and I just hit Go Z, and I'm just going to hit continue. Why is it asking me about 3D Studio Max? Okay, this might not work if it's not set up. There it is. Okay, there it is. So now I have the sphere here. Now it doesn't have, you can't see the poly paint unless I switch types. There you go. I switched it to EV render, and you can see the poly paint right there. But this does not have subdivision levels. So how you can make this easier for Blender to digest is by coming over to this wrench, which is your modifiers, and then you just want to add a subdivision surface modifier right here. Okay, and then is it subdivision? No, it's not. I chose the wrong one. There's 2 of them. Multi-resolution. So just so you guys know, if you want to compare it to ZBrush, subdivision surface is like dynamic subdivisions in ZBrush. So it's just a preview of what you're going to get, okay? Multi-resolution is like a real subdivision level. So that's the one you want to pick if you want real subdivision levels. And it acts accordingly, same. But if you'll notice here, you have this button called unsubdivide, okay? That's essentially like ZBrush's rebuild lower subdivisions button. Okay, I'm gonna hit unsubdivide, and it's going to unsubdivide this. Basically, it's going to add a layer, and you can see the wireframe here. I'm gonna unsubdivide it again. You can see it getting even lower, and again, and again. So you can go, I mean, this was made from a cube, so I could go all the way down to a cube. But now you can see it says when I render, it's going to show the top level. In the viewport, it's at 0. So I can just go up in render here, and now I'm showing my highest level subdivision. But for some reason, it lost the poly paint at that level. That's weird. So anyway, that's kind of how it works. What add-on is that inside of Blender? The one you use to turn on ZBrush imports. It's called Go B. It's by Jose Canseco, I think it's called. You can just look at it's on I think GitHub or something like that. Anyway, that's what I do. But sometimes if I have a model that's not that intense, or I don't have a super high-end computer, but it's fast enough to push what I need. So for example, like that Batman that you just saw, I won't go and rebuild all the lower subdivision levels. I'll just leave it. Okay, so it's not necessary all the time, but if you're looking to make make Blender handle it better, you can go through and do this. Or if you don't have much surface detail in your subdivisions, you can push the low resolution over to Blender and then just add a subdivision modifier to it. And that will give you your higher resolution look. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. That's how I do it. And that's how I push it over to render. Go B. Okay, back to the action. Hey, 103 people. Yay, we broke 100. Sweet. Welcome. Welcome on this Halloween. I appreciate you all for being here today. I think his nose needs to stick out. It looks a little pushed in. Get a little more beaky. Go B or go home. I love that. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Turn Sculptus Pro back on. Resolution this up. Res this up. Yeah, I hope that helps. Hey Simon, welcome. Thank you. See, I can just add geometry where I need it and leave it lower where I don't. It's a beautiful thing. Blender has the same functionality, by the way. It handles it slightly differently, but for the most part, it's the same. It's easier to use in ZBrush for sure, but it is available in Blender. Called Dynamic Topology and Remesh. So Remesh is like Dynamesh, and Dino Topo is like Sculptus Pro. And there is a flood fill option. There's a few things you have to change and tweak in order for it to function this way. And it's not quite as responsive as ZBrush is, but it still gets the job done. It does a good job. Also, Nomad. So you'll notice I'm talking about other software because I'm not on the ZBrush live stream, but Nomad, which is a sculpting app on the iPad, also has that functionality as well. And it's pretty crazy that you can do that on an iPad. It still blows my mind. Now, I'm not sure about the Adobe Sculpt, which is essentially yeah, weird to hear me talking about Blender. I know this is weird. I gotta be super cautious about it because I know I'm gonna get tripped up on ZBrush's live stream and be like start talking about Blender on ZBrush's live stream. Oh goodness. Okay, so let's get going with these teeth, shall we? I'm trying to decide if I want to make each tooth separate, which is what I'm leaning towards, or if I want to just kind of, yeah, let's do that. Okay, each tooth is a separate tooth, and then I'll fix whatever's happening up in here. Nose is still kind of bugging a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think the teeth are going to make this guy. Yes, I used Mudbox quite a bit back in the day, actually. You know, Mudbox, what Mudbox has going for it is its layer system. Back in the day, they decided to give up on developing it any further, which I wish they hadn't, because it had promise for sure. But Mudbox, yeah, its layering system for both texture and sculpt, the layers were great. Looks like he's got a tongue and he's going, Nomad's amazing and a great way to sketch out ideas while in more comfortable chair. Absolutely. That's like the best way to put it. Layers is why I preferred Max over Maya. You know, Cricket, so if you say that, I think you would, I don't know if you've ever messed with Blender too much, but that is how Blender works. It works with modifiers. You know how Max works with modifiers? Blender is very modifier centric, meaning it's very editable. So it retains its editability throughout while you're sculpting. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Hey James, welcome. And editability is the name of the game. I want to keep my stuff editable for as long as possible. I don't want to. I guess you could say I have a commitment problem when it comes to committing, you know, my sculpts and saying, yep, this is what I want and I'm not going to change it. I know I'm so lost in Blender though. I have a hard time just in navigation. With that, I felt the same way, especially before they changed away from the right click stuff. You know, when it was still right click, it just threw my mind for a loop. I'm just like, what is this, and why would you ever set it to right click? You know, I had a big problem with it because, you know, it just didn't feel natural to me, and it felt like they were doing it just despite the rest of the industry. You know, it's like, here we are in our own little sandbox, and you know, you guys can stay over there with your Mayas and your Maxes and do what you need to do. We're going to be over here happy in our sandbox. And I think the best thing they could have ever done is change over to left click navigation like the rest of the software on the planet. And I think that's what's actually finally made Blender viable for everyone else, you know? And yeah, I said it right here, you know? It's like you don't have to conform, but if you're just keeping people out of your sandbox, just, I don't know, out of spite, or if, I don't know why, but it's, you know, of course it's just not going to work. If you want your product to be successful, there has to be some form of conformity to allow people to play with your software. And I feel that ZBrush has a little bit of that going on too. You know, the navigation for ZBrush, if you don't have a pen, is very strange. Very strange. But if you have a pen, and this was the point I was trying to make, Sarah, is if you have a pen and you set it up that way in Blender, then it's easy to navigate. Because it feels the same. It doesn't feel like you're out of place and wondering what the heck. Also, another thing you could do is get a space mouse. A space mouse allows uniform navigation across all 3D programs, which is a beautiful thing. So if you can afford a space mouse, that helps a lot as well. Like, I can navigate in ZBrush exactly the same way I can navigate in Blender, exactly the same way I can navigate in Maya, on and on and on. Hey, Wilberth, how are you? Which inherently is what trips up a lot of people with ZBrush, to be fair. Yeah. It is. I mean, I was a Maya modeler for years, 15 years. Like traditional box modeling. And there's Brad. And it took me a long time to get used to the ZBrush navigation, I'm not going to lie. But now that I'm used to it, I kind of wish other applications navigated like ZBrush. So there is a part to it, and that's the conformity thing I'm talking about, right? You love what you know. You're comfortable with what you know. And if something is new and different and feels weird to you, you're not going to be comfortable in it. Yeah, still, and honestly, that took me forever to get used to. Forever. And we're talking about the trackball navigation. So like for me, the thing that really just kept me out for the longest time, because Maya locks you out of the Y rotation, the Y orbiting on your camera. You can only spin on the X and the Z. Y is locked. And you can actually change ZBrush to be Y locked. So it feels better, but you're missing out on this whole new way of navigating. Like I can spin this guy like this. And I can, you know, one thing I do miss about about Maya that ZBrush doesn't have is the ability to take my camera and zoom, like go inside the mouth. I can't put my camera in his mouth. And I could in Maya, because Maya is a real viewport and this is not. So I can't do that. That's the only thing I really miss about having an actual viewport. But other than that, I love being able to navigate this way on a trackball. And you can turn on trackball navigation in Blender, but it doesn't feel the same. There's something off about it. Hey Nez, how are you? Z model is a tricky thing in terms of hard surface. It is. It does. Yeah, because it goes about things in a different way. It's like familiar but different, right? Hey, Checkpoint, how are you, man? Thank you, sir. How are your streams going? Max is not used nearly as much as mine. I don't care. I love some of the Max, but for box modeling, nothing beats. Love Max for box modeling, nothing beats ZBrush though. Yep. I mean, they all play to their strengths, right? And that's what you can just use them for. You're doing so good, it hurts. That's good. I think. I hope. Excited about the surprise Halloween sculpt stream. Just saw your email. Awesome. Well, welcome. We just hit 100 people on the live stream, so you're one of those 100. You made it possible. Thank you so much. Going all right. Not as good as yours. Oh, thanks. So, dude, I'll give you a shout out. So, Checkpoint Professor is a friend of mine from Avalanche, and he streams. Do you still stream like Mario Maker stuff? I cannot believe what you do, man. Go ahead and you can post a link to your stream here. I don't mind. And he has my same last name. Brothers from another mother. So some of his levels, and just you testing your levels, Gabe, I'm just like, how in the world? You're like a true old school Mario gamer, you know? And he's also a professor at the University of Utah. Thinking of doing a spooky sculpt as well? Do it. Do it. Every day's a good day when you sculpt. I stole that from Bob Ross, but he said paint. Oh, Neil's on it. Neil found it first. There you go. Checkpoint professor. Do you mostly stream on Twitch or do you stream on here as well? Checkpoint. I'm talking to you, by the way. Sorry. Oh, you got to put it on your wall now? You mean the quote? Yeah, every day's a good day when you sculpt. Hey, what's up, Lucky? Like how I transitioned into Toontown. Sorry, I didn't see your other messages. I miss retopology in Maya. Maya is honestly, it's one of my favorite places to do retopology. Oh, blocked out a human without a base mesh? Yeah, there's your challenge. That is spooky. I see where you're going. Oh. Okay, gotta stretch for a second. Let's duplicate these, save this off. Yeah, quad draw in Maya is a wonderful thing. That's how I did the retopology on the whole Zenyatta model when I made that for Blizzard. Okay, I always do this backwards. Okay, because I'm gonna put like, it's just weird because you want these to line up in a jig-jag way, you know, like a saw way. Usually I'll put a single tooth in the bottom center and then spread out the other ones accordingly. I know it's weird, but that's kind of how you have to do it. I downloaded 3D Coat for the first time in 2 years and now renamed my indie license to amateur license. Oof. Oh man. That hurts. It hurts. Tom Cruise upper T slightly left center. Yep. Oh, did I forget to turn on symmetry? I think I did. So I'm going to pull these away from each other. Nope, can't do. Here we go. Well, let's auto group these. And just pull this one away. So I don't want to stitch these in the middle yet. These teeth are getting scary. Let's turn off local symmetry. Mirror and weld. Boom. There we go. All right. And you can tell the lip is way too against his head. I need to pull it out more, cover his teeth, and give him more of a lip. Any new tools you could recommend for painting over your model for maps apart from Substance Painter? Substance Painter is the best by far, but there is one I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh, what is it called? It's like it started as a plugin for Photoshop, and now it's its own standalone thing. Help me out, you guys. What is it called? I want to say N something, or what is it called? Gosh dang it. But what I usually tend to use is just polypaint and ZBrush. It depends on how detailed you got to go with it, right? Mari? No, but Mari's great. Quixel, that's the one. Quixel Mixer. Yeah, that's another one. It doesn't really function like Substance. It does maps in a whole different way. Now, Quixel is still a thing. It's still alive. It's alive. Let's see. NDO and DDO. Yeah, those are when I was thinking, yep, those are kind of the same thing. Baking the poly paint is fine, absolutely. It is. Got a client who wants some fine details. I was going to poly paint it, but they want tiny paint nubs. Okay. I was thinking of using an albedo map instead of retoppling. Okay. Yeah, that one's tricky. That was tricky. You can... Oh, Quixel bought NDO and DDO. Okay. Colin, really? You still use body paint? That was my first introduction to Maxon, is through body paint. That was body paint was before Substance Painter came out, and you know, Adobe had its version. You know, like you could paint on 3D models inside of Photoshop, and it was pretty weak, but because it wouldn't hold a lot. You know. Blender has come a long ways as far as what you can do with painting in there. I always love hiding and showing pieces and parts. The reason I want to hide that is because I want to H-polish this down a little bit. Also a secret is I don't use, I still do my maps in Photoshop. I do. Zenyatta, done in Photoshop. I like Substance Painter because it makes things simple, makes things easy, and but at this, you know, but that's where Substance Painter got its start, was doing maps in Photoshop. It's just like unified things and made these engines that you could use. There we go. This guy's looking fun. Creepy tooth frog without the rest of his head for sure, Ryan. How are you? Oh, Monster Kermit. Yep. Why are there so many? Got to give him some gums up top. Yep, roughness, metalness. Yeah, I would do all those in Photoshop. Yeah, all of it. All of it, all of it. Substance came out the year I graduated from anim school. I felt so ripped off. Yeah. What do you use to retopple the models, Shane? 3D coat? Yep, 3D coat. It just depends. Honestly, I've been playing with this new Cozy Blanket program on the iPad that was developed by Pablo DeBarro and another guy. Pablo is responsible for putting a lot of sculpting stuff into Blender, and now he is broken off away from Blender. Now he's doing Cozy Blanket, and that program is kind of a game changer when it comes to retopology. And I actually have I have a plugin for it. I don't have my iPad here. I'd show you on the camera, but a ZBrush plugin where I could push the geometry from here right into Cozy Blanket, and then do my retopology and push that topology right back into ZBrush. It's so there's no like, well, I don't want to be pushing my models into like, saving them up to Google Drive or something like that. It's not that difficult. There's just a plugin that pushes it over there, and it works quite well. Okay. So that's my new favorite one to use, but it's still a work in progress. So it's not the perfect program by any means. For cheap option, TopoGun is $100 for a license. Hear me out. The TopoGun 3 is very quad draw like now. I have not used TopoGun 3, but I used some of their previous versions, and the map baking in there is what we used for Disney Infinity. Believe it or not. We didn't use it for retopology because at the time it was just okay at retopology. We would use 3D Coat. Or Maya. Maya's quad draw is quite good. But 3D Coat is still my favorite because of the way you can lay down the dots and pre-plan what you're going to do before you lay down your squares. So you can kind of see what you're going to do first. 3 is actually really nice, believe it or not. So that being said, does it have the ability to drop down vertices first and then fill in the quads? That's the way I personally like to work the most. And the only software that does that I know of is 3D Coat. And an add-on that we're working for Blender. 3D Coat and UV Topo are just great. Yeah. It does? Ooh, nice. Okay. I might have to give that a second look then. Believe it or not, I still like ZBrush Z-Sphere Retopo. Ryan, I like it in some instances. Whenever I need to just do something quick, and I need it to be very controlled, I will still use that. But if I need to do any sort of extensive retopology, like if I have to retop an entire character, no way. There's just no way. It just doesn't it doesn't give me a good enough view of what I'm doing in the long term, and it's not predictable enough. Oops, I need to here and weld this. Okay. My voice is robotic. Uh-oh. Dang it. I don't know how to fix that when it goes robotic. I think I'm too close. It's hitting my PC too much. Let's see if there's something I can turn off. No. Okay. Good now. Okay, let me know. Because I don't know if it's an internet thing or if it's a CPU thing or quite what it is. Just a lag thing, like YouTube thing. I want to rotate these two forward. Sound like the droid that directs R2D2. I know which one you're talking about. Just stream lag, okay. Oh, that makes me laugh. Makes me laugh in a nerdy way because I know exactly what you're talking about. Is 3D Coat a sub or can you purchase it outright? I believe you can purchase it outright. I bought it a long time ago and I have not spent any more money on it. Like it doesn't have the maintenance or anything like that. Hey, Imperial Walker. Nice. Just to save. Yeah, thanks, Neil. Saving. Saving. All right. Unless you want to be called an amateur. Yep. I think I have the pro version. There we go. Okay, let's get a single center tooth on this guy. Auto group this, and then here's a tricky thing I'm gonna do. Let's see, these are all kind of lining up the way I want them. You can through the power of Google. Who would have known? You can buy rent to buy, monthly sub, or 1 year. Interesting. You can rent to buy. That's a new concept, eh? Okay, so I'm going to keep this center tooth. Well, it's going to be a center tooth. It's weird to have a rogue tooth back there. What's going on with that one? Is that part of the upper? Oh, it is. I just haven't moved it into place. Hey, I'm interested in your course. Total beginner, does not anything about sculpting but navigation. Tried multiple times but failed. Is a 3D workshop something for me? Yes, actually. I have some early beginner training in there. And I go through like your first day in ZBrush and your first day walking through the navigation, getting comfortable with ZBrush. And then my 3D Character Workshop 2.0, it starts out with the basics of just learning how to block in characters with primitive shapes, just like I do here on the live stream, showing you exactly how to do it. Yeah, there's a lot of my students watching right now on here, so you could also hear it from them as well if they want to chime in. Okay, let's grab these lower teeth and move them around here. I'm going to try this trick here. Trying to remember, there's one brush that you can turn the draw size down to 0, and then you can move the entire object. I can't remember how it goes. It's pretty cool, I guess. I heard you say that in a Napoleon Dynamite Brothers voice. What's his name? Is his name Neil, his brother? Can't remember. I've been following you for a while now, and you seem to have charisma for teaching. I'd like to think so. A lot of people tell me that. And I honestly feel like I've found my second passion, which my first passion is sculpting. My second passion is teaching. So I really like it myself. I'm a big fan of sharing what I know. And I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. Delete this one, and this is going to become the center teeth. I've saved up in the time I want to give it up my all. Yeah, do it. And also, if you join the Discord server, there is a lot of people in there that would also love to help you out once you purchase the course. It's a private Discord channel for students. And there's sculpt rooms in there. There's people hanging out in there, having a good time, sculpting all hours of the day. Move topological at size 1 moves a piece. You are the best. Thank you very much. Move topological size 1. So if I wonder if it works if I turn on topological. Ah, there it is. Sweet. Thank you, Rowney. Rowney? Is that how you say your name? Thank you so much. All right, learn something. I should say relearn something new. I haven't used this for a while. Okay, so here you go, guys. Write this down. Write this down. Turn on your move brush. If you turn your draw size of that move brush down to 1, this doesn't work. But if you turn on topological, it works. And whatever object you grab, it's going to move it. And then you can just nudge your objects around. Super great. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I love it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of students say, come for the course, stay for the community. Okay. Here and weld this together. There we go. Where did the gums go? Bring back the gums. Now all the holes are wrong. Just don't ever go into the off topic on Discord. Yeah, that place is a Wild West. Okay, I think I'm going to pull this back. To meet the gums, but be pulled down somewhat. +1 to both of Neil's statements. Okay. So his brother is named Neil. Okay. Thanks for sharing your process. What's the best way to know when to stop symmetry and at which fidelity to pose? I can't tell if someone's model is sculpted while posed or posed after. What's your take? That's a awesome question that has multiple answers. And the number one answer is you can pose it when you feel like it's time. So I know that's not the answer that you want to hear, but it's the answer that is like, okay, I feel like it's time to take it asymmetrically, or I feel like it's time to pose it. Now, oh, his brother was Kip. Okay. Thanks for thanks for the tidbit. Okay. So usually my internal when do I pose or when do I break symmetry is I wait till the very, like as far as I possibly can before I pose it. I try and get absolutely everything in place before I do. And I try to take advantage of symmetry for as long as I absolutely possibly can. Okay, because it's a tool there to help you. It's something you don't get with traditional sculpting. But at the same time, there are a lot of sculptors that will say, get it to pose as soon as possible. And I am one of those people as well. But the reason I say get it to pose as soon as possible is because that's when your model starts to really come to life and become like, oh, wow, there's that. There he is. You know, now I can see him, or now I can see her. It's just when it's almost when the pose or the character becomes interesting, right? Otherwise, up until then, it's kind of deadpan. You can see it coming to life, but it's just not quite there. And I've experienced over and over and over again that I typically don't share my models with my art directors unless they specifically ask me to before it's posed. I usually try and wait until it's posed before I show them. And there's so many things that you can learn during the pose session. And then all of that being said, now here's the opposing view: is like there are a lot of mini sculptors and traditional sculptors. Mini meaning like Warhammer, D&D figures, all that kind of stuff, and they are just trying to get it done as quickly as possible and go a million miles an hour. And they already know the pose. They'll get it into the pose, and then they'll dress it after that. Like if they're gonna make some dwarf holding a warhammer above its head while shouting or something, they'll take those mannequins that are built into ZBrush and pose out their pose first, and then they'll just start adding all the volume and cuts from there, and then start to dress it from there in the pose, and there's some skill involved there that it's a completely different skill set. I mean, you're pulling from the same knowledge, but it's a different skill set. And I've seen a lot of mini sculptors like to work that way, and it's really interesting to me. I might try it one of these times. I've only really tried one model that I posed first and then did all that, the other stuff afterwards. And it just felt weird, and I haven't done it since. And I actually have the video of it on this channel, I believe. It's the Shane Glines pinup model that I did. So you can watch, and I talk about it while I'm sculpting it. I kind of want to do it again. I want to and work it out and see, because that's been so long ago. I want to see what I would do differently. And since I started a half an hour late, I'm sculpting a half an hour longer than I normally would. And we've hung at a solid 82 people today, which is cool. We broke 100 once. It's interesting that I sent out an email to, you're not going to believe this when I say it, but 30,000 people. And out of those 30,000, 100 people showed up. It's very, very interesting to me. You would think a few more would show up than that, but I'll take it. When and how did you decide to stick with stylized? Hey, David, welcome. That's an interesting question. It's just something I just gravitated towards and stuck with it. And I found that I was good at it, like I was decent at stylized, and I really liked I liked the challenge of nailing the flow and the shapes of it. So, oh, you just barely saw the email? No worries. I'm absolutely not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just stating that it's a curious interest that I had, like the data of it, Sometimes you see a sculpture and say, there's no way this started with T-pose, because the whole idea is the pose. Yep, but you never know. Totally. And I'm sure there's a ton. And yes, Imperial Walker, absolutely. It's Halloween. People are likely doing, yep. And it's like, there's no notice, zero notice that I'm just like, hey, I'm going live right now, and people are probably like, they're going to see it tomorrow or something because they're out busy with Halloween and doing whatever. And that's completely fine. Not disappointed one iota. Is that a measurement? An iota? How much is an iota? My emails don't notify me. I check them periodically throughout the day. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's the same. It's not like, hey, Mr. Distracto over here, come look at your email. But I think if I said, hey, I'm going live tomorrow or in a week or something like that, then more people would show up, But I think what I want to do is release more pre-recorded videos rather than live videos. As much as I like going live, I think they'll have more legs. One Iowa. I don't give one Iowa. about that. That's a pretty big measurement if you think about it. Okay, I love to see how far I can push something in just the block out. And to finish answering your question about stylized characters, it's kind of like those musicians that just kind of pick a style and stick with it. You know, I haven't done hardly any realistic characters in my whole career. I kind of stay away from it. I don't know why. And I have a lot of students that do realistic characters, and they still start out the same way I start out. Like they like that they've learned how to do it this way. And they still block out their characters with primitive shapes like that. Realism is a long haul commitment, absolutely. And honestly, it takes too long. It takes way too long. I just noticed something big. Sometimes I get talking too much, and I miss stuff. Can you guys see the glaring miss that I missed between the concept and this guy? I'll just show you right now. Look at the space between his upper lip and his nose. And look at the space. There's no space here. So, so this is a prime example of why I block out my characters this way. Okay, so how would I fix this? How would you fix this? If this was all sculpted together in one piece and I was sculpting this by hand and I was doing it with like clay buildup or something from a sphere, and I messed up this bad, it's like, now what, right? I have to re-sculpt things but since these are all separate shapes, I got to take all of this and push it down here. And what that's going to do is it's going to make his eyebrows even more slanted and make him even more evil, and that's what I want. So I'm going to save this off. And not pizza boxes, because these are all part of the same subtool. I'm just going to use masking, but they are separate objects. So what I can do, well, let's see, right? These must be, yeah, these are in the same subtool. So let's get them out. Let's do auto groups, mirror and weld. Okay. So I want to see if this masking trick works. So if I hold down Control and tap on one of these objects, it's going to isolate mask that object, right? But what if I want to add these nostrils to the main nose masking group? I have to hold down Control, click on the nostril, drag it to the nose, and then push Shift. How would you know that? I'm just going to say that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm just like, how in the world would you know that? Because it's not listed anywhere other. It's probably buried deep in the ZBrush manuals, but I'm going to pull this on down to here where it needs to be. Close to the lip. There we go. And then, no, I'm not going to use T-Pose Master because, again, it's all in one subtool. And essentially, T-Pose Master would, that's exactly what it would give me, is it would mush all of my subtools together and allow me to move stuff around, but I don't really need to do that. But it's a good guess. Good guess. Okay, so for this, I can use the Move Elastic. I've listened to you explain that 50 times and I still have no idea how to do it. Yeah, you know what? You don't need to. You can just hide everything else. This is changing the volume of my object. I don't want that. Anyway, you can just hide, like, just go like this and then unmask that bit. And there you go. Now I've added that to that. That's the easier way to do it. So don't worry about it. Okay. So now we're going to bring, because I just want to bring it, I want to leave where the cheek is back here, but bring it forward down here. Okay. Still hoping you do a full body surfer dude with bare feet. Was I gonna do that? I don't know that that was on my list of things to do. Okay, let me. Okay, now that we have that, I want to drop his eyes down. Well, yeah, I want to drop his eyes down a little bit. So let's select those eyes. Drop them down like this. I don't even do stylized, but learning gems like this is worth it. One of my teachers way back tipped us about using Shane's brushes, and here I am. Yay! Welcome, David. Appreciate it. Okay. Now let's do these brows. Clear the mask. Isolate. Select these brows. Let's see how I can just move these brows without moving everything else. And it'll make him super evil guy. Evil. Now he kind of reminds me of that guy on Frighteners. It's one of my favorite scary movies. Scary in quotes. Love Frighteners. Okay, let's turn off Sculptress for a minute and close this gap in the middle. There we go. That's fun. Okay, now I saw this little bit of geometry back in here, and it gave me an idea. Not evil, but evil. Okay. Now I should end the stream about now. Probably will soon. What time is it? 2:30? I can go a little bit more. Okay, I want to actually on purpose reveal this back here and turn it into the lower eyelid, or I can block in a lower eyelid as well. I might just do that instead. Let's do that, because then I can take it and make it go all the way up. You can barely see it in the concept of the lower eyelid, and that also helps with the evil. So let's do that. All right. Every villain's lemon. Talking about from Adventure Time Lemon, that guy. Oh, local symmetry. Hey, Walter. I've not been attending these for a long while. The addition of the hand with the style is pretty cool. Thanks. And welcome. I mean, I haven't sculpted or I haven't streamed live on my own channel for quite some time. And I saw that I accidentally wasn't scheduled today on the ZBrush live stream, which I usually stream at this time over on their channel. So Neil and I decided let's just go live on the 3D Character Workshop channel. That'll be fun. See, again, I can just fill this with Sculptress Pro geometry and we're off to the races. Don't have to worry about it stretching. And I want this lower eyelid to tuck all the way back in here. So I'm going to hide this piece and work it. Work it. And as I stretch it out, I can just hold down Shift with Sculptress Pro turned on and just tap it, add some more geometry, move on. It's such a great and beautiful thing. And now if I want a nice hard edge across the top of here, I can add a little bit more geometry like this. more density, just so it'll hold that edge. Hey, Thomas, welcome. Lucky to find the stream going. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. So now I'm just going to pick pinch and just hold down Alt so it's actually creating a mountain, not a valley. And I'm just going along here and pinching it to create that eyelid shelf. There we go. Now I kind of lost my volume up here. And it does look more like a tear duct, but this is kind of weird back in here, but that's okay. Now if I can run smooth across here, it will get rid of that edge because I've basically pinched that edge. So if I want to keep it, I just got to leave it alone, or I need to add more density to it and then smooth it. But there you go. Now we have 3 layers. We have the eyelid, we have this cheek meat, and then we have this upper lip. What would you use for decimating the mesh topology for a game engine? Well, the answer would be I wouldn't. So decimation is a very hold on, my keyboard is dying. 1 second. I gotta plug it in. Leonard, that's the only thing I don't like about this keyboard is I gotta plug it in. and I miss my print screen button. It doesn't have a print screen button. Okay. So what was it? What was the question? Oh, decimate. Okay, so decimation is specifically used for, well, it's used for 3D printing mainly, not for animation. So basically you would retopologize instead of decimate. So decimate it means make less of or fewer of, but it uses triangles. It doesn't use quads. And in animation, you want quads. In 3D printing, it doesn't matter. So, and that's essentially what I'm using here is just triangles, and it's going to work well for 3D printing. Okay, I still got to fix these gums. But hopefully that answers your question. Okay, now I'm going to tuck this eyelid. And I'm going to tuck the eyelid up here. I want to make that curve going into the corner of his eye like that. All right. Neil, do you mind like getting rid of 69 mega? Oh my gosh. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. I gotta say, that's the second time I've had to say that. Just tuning this cheek meat. It doesn't look so strange. Okay. The Libyans. Thank you, Neil. He's like. Okay. Let's rework these. I like to say it gum holes. Let's make one here. Here's such a gum hole. Oh, somebody asked me about my tablet. I'm using a. I should put that in the description of every time I go live. Just so you guys have it. So it's a 27-inch Wacom Cintiq. That's better. single tooth Johnny. And then it's got this weird line on his tooth, so let's just sculptress that right out. There we go. Not as strange as cheek meat. What? It does have a print screen button. It's the little camera icon over the numeric keypad. Oh, you're kidding. It's just hidden as a weird icon. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. My complaints be gone. User error. All right, I'm going to close these gaps. Guard the charging cable with your life. Had to pay $200 on eBay from a sketchy third party. Oh, 27. No. We were talking about the charging cable for this this Logitech Craft keyboard. So the reason I got this is because you can switch between Mac and PC, and I have a Mac Studio that I can switch between for like video editing and stuff. So yeah, and it's wireless, which I love, but at the same time I have to charge it. And it comes with this, I also bought this Logitech mouse that there's a button on the bottom that I can also switch between PC and Mac with. And I can also use it on my iPad, which is totally cool. But man, that's a lot of money for a cable for your Cintiq, man. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to kind of push this in a bit. I love this the shape of his head, just like, okay, that feels better. So now I want to kind of scoop his, see this, how it's kind of scoops down from his cheek and then out, and mine kind of goes straight. So let's fix that now. Wacom just stopped making them? Really? How can you just stop oh. Come on, Wacom. You can do it. Okay, I'm just trying to get that scooped look. There we go. Daniel, when are you going to be doing full body characters again? I'm actually doing one for my course right now. I'm doing a Lion-O in my course. And then basically when I'm done, what I want to do is I want to make a YouTube short form video out of it that is basically a 9-minute long. It's not necessarily a time lapse, just a build, you know. Let's see. Okay. A build video that just shows the important bits, but it's not a live streaming full character. Because I've done them in the past, and they just take way too much time live stream. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna kind of detail out his chin a little bit. Gotta head to dinner. Have a good day. Thanks for hanging out, James. Appreciate it. So if you are a student in the course, you can watch the first block out of the Lion-O character right now. It's there and available. Just need to finish it out. Gotta go. Thanks, David. Yep, I'm gonna be taking off soon too. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Looks like everybody's kind of dropping off. So I think I'm gonna end this right here. It's a good spot. All right. That's where we ended up. Thank you everybody so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I want to stream more live on my own channel, mixed with streaming on the ZBrush Live channel. So hopefully you'll see more of me here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe so you'll be notified when I do go live. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful Halloween. Stay safe, and we will see you all next week. Take care, guys. And again, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Take care. Cheers.